nervous though, man. Little faith. I was absolutely incredible. Check 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Is that good? Loud? Is that good? Is yours? And how about you? On playing video sound through now?
I would hope so. I mean, I spent amount of good time on
Good.
there, and I tested it before you got here, so it it should work. Whether it will or won't, I can't seem to predict that part.
Well, here's hoping to it will.
I'm sure it will.
Then I posted some stuff.
Yeah, I have your
Videos
X and your Facebook. All right, it's cool with you. I'll start the.
Yeah, I'm good when you're. Doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious.
I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That me, you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and
Just a motherfucking jump. Just go. And here we go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy. The other fucking guy in the room. Might be the last time you hear all the fucking in the beginning. We're going to wait a few minutes later on. I didn't realize we can't just change my little bit right here. It's all in the intro. We got to change the whole thing, man.
No, I think I
Or
was
they
actually
don't pick up that.
I was just thinking about it today. I think as long as the whole first part you say is perfectly fine. It's just the last little catchphrase for us, that I'm the fucking guy part that we just got to remove. But the entire first part that you say, like,
The other stuff is good.
yeah, you're fine. As long as you're not cussing, you're fine.
No, I did cuss. Dude, I cussed like 3-4 times in that.
I only heard one. That's crazy.
Dude, you weren't listening.
I was not listening. I only heard one.
Play it again.
Only heard one motherfucker.
Yeah, play it again. Yeah, no, it's way more. We'll add it up, man. Like,
We'll add it up.
I dropped like 3-4 F-bombs, man.
I guess it is in the actual intro video.
It's in the intro video before I even start,
you're right.
like 3 times.
You are right. You are right.
So that counts too, right? That we can't do that or
I didn't think about that. You're right.
Okay. We just got to change it.
Well, I'll throw like a
we
little
want
like
more people.
like a beep in there or
We
something
want more
like that.
people. No, I hate beeps, man. I hate
Not a
beeps.
big
I don't like
okay.
beeps,
Good to know.
man.
Good to
We'll just redo it, man.
All
We'll
right.
just do what we got to do. And you know, I hate it, but I did it when I was in radio, that I wasn't allowed mostly cuss at all. I mean, you couldn't say the F word, but you could say ass and certain things. And if you could say something, I absolutely said it. That was for sure. I worked my way around. We figured it out, and we'll figure this out, because one of the things I did a video. I'm gonna just, I was thinking, how am I gonna present this today? And the best way for me to present the show today about the Charlie Kirk Memorial and my journey, our journey, Dawn and I, going there, participating, is just to go from the very beginning. And then we get a good flow. I'll hit all the things and won't fuck up. So Dawn and I had gotten tickets, and tickets did not guarantee that you were going to get in.
Okay.
And ultimately, when we got in anyways, by the time we got in, you didn't even have to show your ticket, which was crazy, whatever. But so Dawn and I thought, well, they changed the times. Originally, it was supposed to be parking lot open at 7, then the venue at 8, and then it started at 11. They changed it to open the parking lot at 5 and open the venue at 7. But here's the thing. I didn't see anyone parking in the parking lot. And that parking lot can hold a lot of cars. And there was just so much security around the parking lot that they didn't allow, that was their perimeter. So they didn't even allow people really into the parking lot unless you were somebody that you were able to get in, you know? So that means all of these people were pushed even further out. And you have to understand, I've gone to a lot of events there, concerts. We're season ticket holders now for the Cardinals. So I know the parking in the area. And you're basically talking at least the number, well, more than the number, really, of what goes to a typical football game are going to be filling this stadium, because they were going to make it the most possible that they could, which was easily over 70,000, probably pushing 75, because you hear different numbers. But I'm going by what I know and what the capacity is, and being there and experiencing it, I can come up with really good numbers. That was just too early for me, brother. That was just too early. I could not do it. But we did get up at 5:30, which is also like
Still pretty
I
early.
used to get up every day at 5 or earlier. I went through that for quite a while. It was great, but damn.
Damn indeed.
We have gotten away from that, and that makes it really rough. So that's when our day starts, is 5:30 in the morning. And then probably between 6:30, 6:45, we take off. I make a mistake by putting the stadium in my GPS and not putting the outlet mall, which is right next to it, in my GPS, because that's where I really wanted to go and wanted to go park. And then I got off, and man, it was not a great place to get off at, because that's where everybody is. And people are literally parking as far away as 2 miles away from the stadium and walking 2 miles. And in some of these people in nice dress clothes, women in dress shoes. It was a lot. There was this one stretch, and I talk about it in the video we'll show in a minute, that this one stretch road we were going, it was almost a mile of every 10 feet being a flag, man.
Every 10 feet?
A nice, good size American flag. Yeah. And who put them there and when and just how it was all organized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was like amazing. So I get out of there, and even though we're a mile away, I have to go around everything now to get where I want to really park because I just didn't want to walk that far. So I'm taking my chances, hoping I can get in over at our usual parking lot. That's another 10 miles to jog around. So by the time we get there, it's probably 8:30, 8:40. By the time we get to there were spots open. Not a bunch, but there were spots open. And the outlet basically shut down for the day. And we didn't know it. We didn't know until afterwards because I didn't want to fight traffic. So we thought we'd walk through because shopping.
Yeah.
And the stores were closed. So it closed a lot of businesses yesterday. They just decided because of how their parking lots were going to be filled up with people that weren't coming there to shop.
I wonder how the business owners felt about that.
I don't know. It all seemed pretty good, but I don't know. There were a few open. We went in. Everybody was nice and polite and, asked if we had just been over there. And, of course, obviously, it was obvious the way you knew where I was going.
Yeah.
So, so we did do that. So we get in the parking lot, and I decide I want to go live on Facebook because I've been having some good engagement on Facebook. And a lot of people wanted to experience the event through us. They wish they could have been there. They saw me, and I am so really humbled and appreciated. They saw me as representing them. Troy's one of us. This is my outlaw fitness people. My outlaw group that just. Yeah, we're behind you, Troy. We really want to see this. Glad you could be there, and a bunch of support. So I wanted to go live and kind of share. So this is that video, and then also included in this is my encounter with the protester of the moment, and we'll talk about that after. Close. It's not going through?
Yeah. Oh.
So my phone was still connected through there, so I guess you guys couldn't hear me. So that happens.
Restart that just real quick, just so the people
over, delete. All right, what are we doing?
I just restarted. Yeah, I had it muted, unfortunately.
So when you get on here, let me know that you guys can hear me. We are in a parking lot right near State Farm Stadium for the Charlie Kirk Memorial. Dawn and I came this morning, and I just tried to do a video, and my car wasn't totally shut down exactly. So my phone was still connected through there, so I guess you guys couldn't hear me. So that happens now. I just started over, deleted that. That kind of sucks, but, shit happens. Shit like me not putting in this area, this parking lot, the outlet that's right near here, that I put in State Farm Stadium, so we got off at a different direction. Hey, Tommy, can you hear me? Is this better now? We all good? Let me know. I appreciate it. Anybody? All right. So I fucked up. Yeah, it was hooked to my car. That's why. I got the car actually locked now, so that shut that off. So, I made a mistake, but that mistake allowed us to see how far away people were parking, which was about a mile 1.2 a mile away from the stadium. And what was really neat is that for about a mile almost, on the side of the road, about every 10 feet was a flag, and, you know, cars were pulled in straight, not sideways, parked off the side of the road. There's a tremendous amount of security everywhere, police everywhere, obviously, because the president will be coming in. So they put cops at every overpass, every side road. Not as many people are, I don't think, from what I understood this morning, able to park at State Farm Stadium. So it really pushed it away. But people are making the trek, and it was really cool to see everybody dressed up, dresses even, you know, young men in suits walking towards the stadium. It did say to wear your Sunday best, and so, you know, Troy, why didn't you wear your Sunday best? Well, the church that I go to, Rocky Point, this is our Sunday best. This is what we wear to church. It's a little bit more relaxed, and this is the Trump fight shirt that I had made, and of course I got my MAGA hat on. Dawn has hers. She's in here. She's got her MAGA hat. It's just going to be a gathering of people that, you know, really the morning is really for us to come together, for us to understand and deal with what we've lost. Because at least for me, and I hope some of you, maybe if you haven't before, check out my podcast tomorrow. We go on live about 9 a.m. Arizona time, and I'm going to be sharing tomorrow that over the last few days, I've been getting some clarity in what I'm supposed to do. I believe the purpose that we all have is to serve, but that the mission is different. So when people say, I don't know what my purpose is, your purpose is to serve others, but we are all to do that in different ways. And I don't think I had real clarity for my podcast and what direction I was going and what I wanted to be able to do. And yeah, real nice. We're glad you're here. Dude walking by with his racist sign. Yeah. Yeah. What's that? You can't get rid of us, buddy. You can't get rid of us. Well, we're not trying to get rid of you. I love Mexicans, brother. Fucking moron. Yeah, I go to Mexico, dumbass. And? I'm inbred? This is the kind of piece of shit that shows up to protest somebody's funeral. This guy is a piece of shit. Yeah, come on, put it on. God bless you. Come on, you want to put it on? You want to show people, dude, what your sign is? You want to show my audience? Come on over and show them. Show them. Let them see what a piece of shit you are. You want to. Go right ahead. I'll let you do that. Yeah. No, come on. Right here. Right here's the camera, man. No, right here's the camera. Just walk right up. What, are you afraid of me? I ain't going to hit you. You're an old man. I'd beat the shit out of you.
Sure you would. Sure you would. Talk shit.
I'm not talking shit. Dude, you ain't got any fucking teeth now, dude. Eh? You want to keep the rest of them?
You do?
Really?
Do you want to look worse than me?
Dude, that wouldn't take a second.
Try it.
Yeah.
Try it. Go ahead, try it, motherfucker. Go
That's
ahead.
the hardest thing I ever had to do right there, man.
Try it.
You don't want me to try it, dude.
Try it.
You won't be able to fucking make it home to your family, dude. I hope you have.
Try it.
Go up there. You're a piece of shit. This is the piece of shit
right
here. What he is.
Read the other side.
Yep.
Read the other one.
We're not Nazis,
Read
dude.
it.
We're not
I
Nazis.
don't give a fuck. Let him read it. Let him read. Let him read.
No, I let him show.
Fuck you.
Show people. Yeah.
Over here talking shit. I was watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what? I showed what you are.
Yeah.
Who protests a funeral? Who protests a funeral?
I do, an American.
Because you're a piece of shit.
No, I'm an American.
No, you're not an American. That's not what an American is. An American doesn't do that. You have fucking respect for people. Fuck you, you bitch.
Motherfucker, you piece of shit.
For me to be at that level and not hit somebody. No, not this. We wouldn't come to your shit and do that. You have no respect. I didn't say you didn't. I said we wouldn't do this at any of your shit.
Fucking Alabama, where you born?
Alabama, Ohio, you dumb fuck.
Go get your fucking ass back, motherfucker. I was born here, you cocksucker.
Yeah.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Nobody's trying to send you home.
Ohio, motherfucker. You don't fucking belong here, you
yeah,
motherfucker.
Sure.
Fuck you.
There you
I
go.
was born here, you cocksucker. Yeah.
Then he insults people from Alabama.
Yeah, you're all cocksucking motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inbred motherfucker. Fuck you. Suck your shit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is American, motherfucker. Fuck you.
And then I was thinking I'd have to take off my Rolex. I think of that shit now.
Sure.
But Dawn's always ready. She knows
So that's what we would
To hold the
that
expect.
I,
Rolex?
that I might
Right?
have
You
to
gotta
give her
taste
my
it.
Rolex.
I wasn't expecting it while we were parked here, but, you know, it is what it is.
No, but seriously, when I'm at that level, I'm almost
Unbelievable.
like I'm there. And for me to pull myself back from that level, yeah, that don't happen.
There you go, guys. That's what we're about to encounter today. All right?
So as it turns out, that's
Much
good.
respect.
As it turns
We'll give you
out,
some more highlights later.
later, as we're getting in line, we finally see where the protesters are. And I have a picture of that. I should have sent it to you. But and maybe there's a couple things that bothered us. So the protesters were near the side where people were getting in line. And honestly, there wasn't very many of them, thank God. I think people were at least maybe smart enough for the purpose of that one it? Yeah, maybe it didn't take. I had it there. Nope. Yeah, I thought I took a picture of them. It was just at the beginning of a short video. It doesn't really show. It's not good. Sorry about that. But so as we finally get there and get in line, and it's not a far walk. The one thing I didn't like about our side is when you see protests around the country, and there's been some big moments when conservatives have shown up in Washington or for different events, and how we didn't destroy the place, that it was still relatively clean when we left. We don't leave a mess.
Not from what I saw.
Exactly. And that really, really bothered me. If you're going to go, you weren't supposed to be able to camp out. So that's on the cops for even allowing it. And that started around 2 o'clock or so. By 2 o'clock in the morning, there were 5,000 people there. And so people brought chairs. And then chairs they just left. So a bunch of all these chairs got left there. And bags and all kinds of stuff. Hopefully some charity or somebody came through that can sell that stuff for $5 or like
or something.
Whatever, or anybody to get used to. You could, a scrounger, they could, scavenger, they could have gone through there. But all you had to do was take a garbage bag with you. Take a garbage bag with you. And if there wasn't garbage for you to put yourself, you could have put it in a bag and left there so that the people afterwards cleaning up didn't have to clean up all the garbage. They just had to throw the bags. That would have been the way to handle it, I think. And I didn't like that look of all that shit at the entrance of getting inside the gate to get inside the stadium, that mess in that area where people had been waiting and congregating. I realize you're going to need some food, some water. I get that. But you did not need to leave it destroyed like that. Very disappointed in the people that attended that did do that. And it was probably, honestly, right, more younger people. You got to learn. You got to smarten up. Well, because us old motherfuckers can't get there that early. So there wasn't that many old people. We can't do that. That just is not a thing. Wonderful talking to people in line. The lines moved pretty quickly, even though they were very long. And, so we're getting in. And by the time we get in, it's pretty full. already. In fact, I had actually, and I think they closed it just shortly after they stopped letting people in shortly after we got in. Maybe 15, 20 minutes or so. Yeah.
One of the last people to get in.
Yeah. And I thought we were going to end up at Desert Diamond Arena, which is where the overflow went, right next door. That's the old hockey arena.
Gotcha.
So now we're trying to find a place, and they send us up to the fourth level, which is the highest level. So we're going to be in the nosebleed seats, and we're going to be at a spot in the nosebleed seats where you're not going to be able to see shit on stage. You're only going to be able to see the screen.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to be there. We're there. We've gone through all this now. We want to be there. The one side, it didn't work out. By the time we got there, that section was full. We tried to get to the other side where we can see seats. But by the time we got there, they were filled. If we had just went that way first, we'd have been sitting up there. And that's where we would have been. And now we don't know what to do. We're thinking we're just going to end up, I'm kind of complaining a little bit under my breath. And, just there were some organizational things. I know something like this is hard to pull off, but, it would have been nice to have some people like you do at a ball game, helping to direct people into different areas and coordinating and getting people to move down and not leaving an empty seat somewhere and things like that. That would have been nice to have that done. But we're really basically thinking we're going to walk out. But as we walk down, I'm seeing these seats down on that lower level that you see there, not the floor, the other lower level that you see there. We see seats there that are totally open on both sides. Like, why aren't you opening that? They opened them up. And we got down there pretty quick. And so you can see from my angle, I couldn't see, we weren't far enough over to see the actual person really behind the plexiglass, but it was still pretty good and way better than it would have been if we were up higher. And I was just thanking God and making fun of myself that I should have had a little more faith. That he had a plan for me. I would made it there, and he had a plan and a seat for me. And then, can you play the music? Can you play this? Look at all the hands up, man. Chris Tomlin sang, but they had a number of really, really good Christian singers that showed up and played. And this was like this. It was church, man. I don't know that I've ever felt more of God's Spirit in a place than I did then. You know what's interesting too? Is I actually saw a guy wearing a shirt that said "Atheist for Charlie," which was interesting. And you wouldn't expect to see him there. And Charlie would say, there's no such thing really as an atheist. So that was his own view. But that was good. The singing was great. They had concessions open, which were very long. I was very smart because the lines were so extremely long. I went to the side of someone that had just put in their order, but hadn't paid for it yet. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, if you order me a couple of drinks and some food here, I'll pay for your whole order. And he goes, really? I'm like, yeah. And I did. And I avoided a 45-minute wait in line.
That's a little express checkout.
That's the way I roll, man. I'll help somebody else out that helps me. Worked out good for both of us. So the music, everything, sitting. It was a long, long time to be seated and do this all day. My body started feeling it by the end of the day, I'm telling you for sure.
Imagine.
Even though I wasn't exerting myself, just being old, that kind of shit gets to you. But it was absolutely worth it. I'm so happy that we were able to attend and the experience. Now, the people that true VIPs were straight dead in front of us, seated on the floor, which is where we saw Elon Musk, we saw Tucker Carlson, a few others that we saw there. Trump was actually ended up being seated behind us in the suite area.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that was cool too when he got there. And then the speakers started, and one of my favorite speakers was, I forget his last name, Turk maybe? Frank? I know his first name is Frank, and he was a close friend of Charlie's. Charlie's pastor was there. This Frank guy wasn't Charlie's pastor, but to me, he was like Charlie's faith mentor, basically. But Frank, I listened to Frank talk to Megyn Kelly. And because he was in the vehicle with Charlie on the way to the hospital that they put him in. So if you get a chance to hear that interview with Megyn Kelly, it's very good. He spoke and was just phenomenal. And this really was like a church revival. That label's being put on it, and that label's well-deserved, really. There was a moment when people were offered to be able to, turn their life to God and accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, and many stood and did. And that was just fantastic. But Frank, he was a really good one to listen to. Marco Rubio. I'm surprised more people aren't talking about Marco Rubio's speech today, because I did watch a little of the PBD podcast, and they were talking about the different speakers, and they didn't seem to mention Marco Rubio. I don't know why, because he gave one of the better speeches, for sure. And it was in the moment, but it was also presidential. That if you hear this speech, it was almost like Reagan, when Reagan spoke at the Republican National Convention, and he didn't get the nomination that time around, and it wasn't until the next time around, but the speech he gave was a president's speech, that you knew that guy was going to be something. And even though J.D. Vance, I think, gave a good speech, Marco Rubio's was even better than that, in my opinion. And there's no reason to just rate him. I'm just kind of trying to give you a little bit of an overall view. Yeah. But, J.D. Vance is obviously, they were super close friends, and Charlie had been supporting him prior to him even being a senator. So their relationship goes way, way back. But like I said, Marco Rubio's was just fantastic. Tucker Carlson was also excellent speech, and he even chuckled. And that's it. There's just moments when maybe you normally wouldn't chuckle, but you do because of the tension, kind of a thing. And I know a lot has been said out there about his relationship with Charlie, that there were some people that didn't like that Charlie was having Tucker Carlson speak at the TPUSA event, their convention or whatever, and because of his views and how I don't think Tucker has necessarily attacked Israel, but people perceive him to be more anti-Israel now. And so the supporters of Israel that support Charlie weren't liking that Charlie was going to have him on, and he did it anyways, because He just believed in the truth, and he believed in different opinions, and he wanted to talk about those different opinions. And that's us talking as a group of conservatives. We're not going to agree on everything. That's just normal inside a party or inside a movement, that you're not going to agree on everything. But I don't think some of the harsh criticisms that have been thrown Tucker Carlson's way probably aren't that deserved. And I think he did a great job and was there. I thought when we got down to the last two speakers, I really thought that, and I actually wondered when Erica Kirk was on, if Trump was even going to speak, because I was expecting him to speak. And I didn't really like that they had Trump speak last. I think it was more appropriate personally if Erica had spoken last. They did what they did, and it was good. Trump went on a little too long, like he normally does, and by that time people were ready. They were ready to,
leave, yeah.
to leave. It's, 10 hours at that point for many of us into the day. And what the things he said were typical Trump things and gave Charlie credit. But Erica's was very, very emotional, more emotional even than the speech she gave after, last Friday, the speech that she gave after he had been assassinated. And she paused sometimes, and you could just feel it in the whole place when she paused and was trying to gather herself. And even in the quietness, the strength that the people were able to send her way in that building was just, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. People criticizing, and they're going to continue, obviously, people are going to continue to criticize Charlie, his life, what he did. Charlie didn't, and then to shock everyone, she forgave his killer publicly. They've been looking for somebody to bring the temperature down a little bit with the hate going back and forth. And because we are very angry right now. And she did that by doing that.
You really think that's going to calm it down a little bit?
I think it sends the right message. Yeah.
That for sure. I don't think it's going to calm it down, though. I think it's
not going to throw fuel on the fire, though.
Yeah.
Which is good. And they're going to have to acknowledge, that's going to have to be acknowledged that she did that. Because I understood why she did it from a spiritual and religious aspect, and eventually you got to let that hate go. I do get that. But to do it this soon is super, super hard to do. I'm just saying, I don't know that I would be capable of doing it. I really don't think I would be.
Definitely not an easy thing to do.
Not then. Not then. I don't forgive him. Maybe not my place to, but I don't. I despise that kind of evil. Yeah, that was really good. But it's how this is now magnified is just, I don't even think we understand yet what Charlie's impact is going to be now going forward. But it's going to be multiplied by many. You can multiply it by 100 or 1,000. I saw little kids, 9, 10 years old, little boys wearing blue suits white shirts and a red tie. I saw a lot of young men. The group of men, you didn't see a lot of guys my age wearing a suit. But the younger guys showed up in suits. And good for them. The impact, I just believe, is going to be so big, so phenomenal going forward. And not just political. The bigger movement is going to be God-centered. The bigger movement is going to be, this is going to spark revival across the country and maybe across the world.
I mean, a lot of people are saying that the what is it, the Revelation, when people get chosen to go up to heaven and all that.
Yeah.
People are in social media. Everyone's saying that it's happening on the raptures are happening
The
on
rapture.
Tuesday.
If anybody ever tells you they know the date of the rapture, then you know they don't know, because we don't know the day of the rapture.
No, like this is a whole thing going on. Like,
Yeah.
like there's like people selling cars and stuff like that to get ready for it and all. Like it's
That
some
means you're
crazy shit
stupid,
going on.
dude. That just is dumb. No, what's going to happen is he wasn't just important here. Charlie Kirk was spreading his message, his vision across the globe. He was just in South Korea just recently. And I didn't know this, but South Koreans have really blossomed as Christians, like a lot. Like it's huge in Korea now. And I didn't even know that. And I
I know
wouldn't
that
know
either.
that if it wasn't for Charlie. But just how he was received over there. And even though North Korea is the bad Korea, right? I think South Korea, they're not taken too kindly to Christians in South Korea. But the number right now is just blown up exponentially. Just incredible. And that's what I mean. That it's just spawning so many others and even in my case, it's helped me align. You and I have been talking about it off the air, trying to figure out my purpose in doing all this. And my purpose, I don't think I've done enough to talk about the importance and the role that God played in my life in me getting sober. I mention it when I talk about sobriety, but I don't know if I really put the emphasis on it that it absolutely deserves. And after I got sober, things weren't perfect. I had more bad shit happen. My life story is more one where I got my God journey in life was more getting saved as a teenager, not really having a true understanding at that time and being well grounded in what I needed to do. And then just rebelling against, here I wanted God in my life. I wanted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, but I was rebelling against it then pretty quickly. And during all that time, when I left, God never left me. He never left my side. I tried to get away from him, and never in that time did he ever leave me alone. I was never separated from him. There were always these whispers. And then there came a point, really about, 10 years ago, that it kind of, where God spoke loudly. I wasn't going the direction I needed to go. And he just said enough. Because the things that played out in my life at the time didn't make sense. The people in my life that turned their back on me, it made me angry and upset, but that was forced me to go into a different direction. And I really believe God made that happen because there's no other explanation for it. What I was using to fill the hole that I had at that time, and that was, the brotherhood of, why I was in a motorcycle club. I was in a motorcycle club for brotherhood. And it didn't turn out like I expected it to. And God just had to lift me out of it. I wasn't going to come out of it on my own. And so certain things had to happen to force that to happen. Force me out. And then find God again. And I did that with my big sister, Joni. My big sister, Joni, she became my she became my mentor, my faith mentor then, as I made that journey back. And even then, I had never been baptized. And part of the not getting baptized was also rebellion. It was rebellion that because I would hear people say or make an argument, like a stupid argument, that if you're not baptized, you can't get into heaven. And that's just not true. It's just not true. So since I knew it wasn't true, that it was my way, then I'm not going to do it. And then a year and a half ago, I'd actually arranged a few years ago to be able to get baptized when I was still in Toledo. But they shut down the churches like a week before I was to get baptized.
Oh, because of COVID.
Because of COVID. And then finally here in Arizona at Rocky Point, because they do baptisms on a pretty regular basis, I did that. And just to kind of, and I'm glad that I did that. And I'm glad I put that behind me, that resisting, put that behind me, and to take another step. And God's not finished with me yet. I still have a lot of rough edges, but it's for him and I to work out. It's nobody else's business. One of the things I saw in one of my posts, I don't know, was somebody saying about 70 million, calling it 70,000 fake Christians or whatever. And how many, that's where we're at today. The revival is strong. Not every Republican is a Christian. Not every Democrat is an atheist. But there are a lot more godless in the Democratic Party. And there are a lot more God-fearing in the Republican Party. And why is that important? Because it totally shapes our worldview. If you don't believe there is a God, then there are no absolutes. When you don't believe there is a God, you can come up with and be okay with killing somebody for their words, which is what they did to Charlie Kirk. You can be okay with that. You cannot be God-fearing and be okay with that. That's not a thing. And Charlie did not want a theocracy. I don't want a theocracy. What I do want, though, is to fight back, and that it is okay to serve and be in the government and be a Christian and make judgments and policy based on your beliefs. Because everyone is doing that. If they don't have strongly held beliefs, they're still making policy and judgments. And when you hear Muslims that are in political office talk, they always talk about their Muslim faith. Always. And somehow it's allowed for them, but if a Christian does it, oh, it's bad. Because I was trying to understand why some people were trying to label Charlie a Christian nationalist and what that meant. So I went down that rabbit hole. And what was I? And he's not. And I'm not in the sense that they mean it. I just believe in God and I believe in this country. And I don't think you should have to check your faith at the door to serve others. And Charlie was also very good at, when he talked about abortion, we need to have these conversations. He could make the argument from the Bible of why he believed that, but he also had a he had a secular answer for it as well. Taking religion out and making an argument. And there's some great stuff out there. There really is. If you actually try to find it. If you just want to find clips of Charlie that are one-liners, you can do that all day long. You can do it all day long. You can find those one-liners. Taken out of context. And I had a whole disagreement with someone on X about context. And I'm sorry, you can't say that context doesn't matter. And I know it matters because just a comma, as I've said before, just a comma can change the meaning of something that you write, because I've done that and made a mistake. So you can find a line and make anybody look bad if you don't know what they said surrounding it. And I just hope more people, a good example would be too, after we did the show last week, I think it was after we did the show. I don't know. Maybe it was Thursday, probably before we did the show. And the massage therapist I go to, did I mention her?
I don't remember right.
Me neither. Well, I'll mention her again because it's important. She's in her 30s, family. She didn't know who Charlie Kirk was. Can you imagine being that big and there millions of people follow you and yet millions still don't know who you are? Yes, that's a thing. That's a thing. But she didn't know who he was. She saw what was being said online and she started watching his podcasts, the different content that he made. Half hour here, half hour there, but decent length in listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And she really liked it, but she didn't know until then. So I think I appreciated her approach. Even if she had disagreed with him, she was giving it a real chance. She wasn't just going by what somebody has said online. So just because you think you fall in a certain category or a certain side, you're right or you're left, and you've picked your team, and well, the left says Charlie's bad, so I gotta say what they say. Find out for yourself. Find out for yourself. Because all of these people that are disagreeing with Charlie Kirk are all the ones that Charlie would have let come to the front of the line to have a conversation with. And what about the Van Jones? Can you pull up the Van Jones clip of Van Jones talks about message sent to him by Charlie just before his assassination. Yeah, they might. They should have it.
Oh, we'll wait for
We
that.
got to wait 30 seconds.
We'll wait.
And we had even talked about it here. We had talked about Van Jones really going after Charlie Kirk the week prior to the assassination and them having what Van Jones calls, he says they were beefing. So they were having a beef, and then he was shocked that he got a direct message.
Here we go.
Okay.
Van Jones. The story begins when a Ukrainian woman was fatally stabbed last month in North Carolina. The suspect is a black man, and Charlie Kirk and Van got into a public sparring match online. Kirk claimed the murder happened because she was white. Van denounced that as completely unfounded. Kirk then sent out what Van calls a fire hose of tweets challenging his argument, which Van says sparked death threats against him. In the midst of all of this, Kirk reached out to Van in a direct message on X. Hey Van, I mean it. I'd love to have you on my show to have a respectful conversation about crime and race. I would be a gentleman, as I know you would be as well. We can disagree about the issues agreeably. Now, that message was sent on September 9th. Van says he did not see it until the very next day after Kirk was murdered. Van Jones just wrote a piece about this for CNN.com and is here tonight. I mean, this is extraordinary. So this was received the day before he was killed.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we were beefing. I don't know. We were going at it online, on air. And then after he died, after he was murdered, my team called and said, Van, he was trying to reach you, man. What? And what was he doing? Dialogue. Let's be gentlemen together. He says, let's disagree agreeably. So I'm sitting on this and I'm watching the whole country talk about civil war, censorship, justifying murder about this guy? This guy is reaching out to his mortal enemy saying we need to be gentlemen, sit down together and disagree agreeably. And the next day he's killed. And I've sat on it long enough and I just said, you know what? We're going to Memorial Weekend for this man. We disagreed. Everybody knows we were not friends, okay, at all. But you praise the good when it's time to memorialize somebody. And what he did, and I didn't even know it, was good. He was not for censorship. He was not for civil war. He was not for violence. He was for dialogue, open debate and dialogue, even with me. Even with me.
If, would you have gone on his show? Would you have done
You know, look, I would have probably tried to get him on your show. I mean, I wasn't trying to build his platform, but I would have called him. We would have talked. And we would have started the process of trying to figure this stuff out. And I think what happens is people get so worked up, Anderson, seeing us go at it. They think they're supposed to go out and kill somebody or go out and talk about civil war or go out and silence people or cancel people or fire people or censor people. About Charlie Kirk, Mr. Debate, I did not agree with him on literally almost anything. But we were words, not weapons, guys. We were words, not weapons, guys. And we were getting into a position where we could get some real debate going, whether it was going to be on CNN, on his show. That wasn't worked out. But I would have taken him up. I wanted to beat Charlie Kirk in a debate. I didn't want somebody to shoot him. That's how we do it in America. And the idea that now people on both sides are justifying murders and calling for civil wars, we got to calm this down, Anderson. We need to calm this down. We need to lower the temperature. Yes, we disagree, but like he said, we can disagree agreeably. That's his last words to me. Let's disagree agreeably. We should take that spirit into the Memorial Weekend for this.
Yeah, there was actually a video of him that he posted on social media, but that's okay. That's him explaining it. That's good enough. That works. What was funny about part of what he just said, he was concerned about giving Charlie a platform with his people. Charlie's platform was bigger than his for one, way bigger. And the people on your platform, you afraid they're gonna, the other side, he might convince some of them? I just wonder. But the whole platforming thing, you don't want to build his platform. Dude, his platform already dwarfs yours. It already did. And it's only grown bigger since then. So, but as much as that's the occasionally I will point to Van Jones where he will actually be a reasonable person. And I agree with what he said. That's where we should be. That's what we should be doing. More often than not. Yeah, I've talked about civil war, not because I want civil war, but because they're killing us. There was a shooting over the weekend too. There was a shooting. Was it 3 people were killed? There was a shooting.
Chicago?
No, it wasn't Chicago.
Indianapolis? New Hampshire?
Right? So you got those. Maybe it was at the New Hampshire one?
I mean, looks like there's a few.
Where's the New Hampshire one that you had? It was at some kind of wealthy country club or something. And yeah, that looks like that might be it.
The New Hampshire one?
I should have wrote it down if I was going to have you look it up. Yeah. Yep, that's the one. But there was a bunch of stuff online he had posted, anti-Trump. Yeah, well, how about this? Go to GPT and ask what we know about that D. Caesar's. What do we know about his background? Yeah, that might. I should have been better prepared for that. But this was another one that was coming from the left, which is the whole point of. I said it's just not the same. When we say both sides, it's not. This is not a 50-50 thing that's going on. And with the people being targeted, and especially since the president. Yeah, but it would figure out what you meant. Oh, that's who the victim was.
Oh, so the shooter was
Yeah.
Lindell.
You? Yeah, that's what we wanted. Worked at the country club. Just came in, opened fire. Yeah, 3 people were killed.
He made statements like Free Palestine.
There you go. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I saw. I mean, does that mean anything? when they do that, when they say that?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. Doesn't mean anything to me.
I think that represents a certain group of people, though.
The Free Palestine thing?
Well, what about if somebody comes in? Haven't we had instances in the past where, what do they say, Ali Akbar or whatever they?
I believe that means I love God, though. Or all glory to God, I believe is what that
Right,
means.
and then they kill people.
That's just their religion. That I don't think that has to
Well-
do with the actual God itself.
Well, it does have to do with their religion, and there are parts of that religion that think you should either convert or be enslaved or be killed. Now, not all Muslims practice that, but there's definitely a good amount of them that do, or a percentage of them that do.
Is it in the Muslim faith or the practice, or is it more of like the smaller societies that kind of have built around, or is it an actual Muslim thing
I
for
think
that?
it's actually, and I don't want to take it out of context, but I think it's actually in the Quran. But how about this? What does the Quran say about non-believers and how they should be treated?
Ram?
Oh, CO or KO.
There's no compulsion in religion. The verse is often cited to show people must freely choose faith, and forced conversation is not allowed. Peaceful treatment of non-Muslims.
Yeah, I'd have to go in and push the.
Because I don't think what because I'm pretty sure it's like the same thing like Christianity is like a branch or like
Yeah,
all
but the
those.
Bible's the same.
There's differences throughout the few of them. To my knowledge, I could be wrong. I don't read Bibles on a daily.
No, but I'm just saying that you can have Protestants, you can have Catholics, and well, there is a Catholic Bible. There is some differences in the Catholic Bible. They have two books that are included in in their Bible that we don't have in the King James version.
Oh, talking about context. This is where context really matters. Kill them wherever you encounter them and expel them from where they expel you. This was a defensive fighting against Meccan opponents who had driven Muslims from their homes.
Well, I don't want to go further down that rabbit hole right this moment, and I don't have enough to. That's not my wheelhouse or that I'm strong in. That's all right.
I'm just doing this for myself now.
No, I know we talk about things and it makes you want to know more. And I do believe, that context matters. I believe that people are taking Charlie out of context to, promote hate. I'm sorry, there's not this big volume, and I'm going to dig into that too. that based on the government has to have numbers of what they think are the groups that would be considered white nationalist, Nazi groups, or KKK, and what their numbers have been over the years, like in total numbers, and how many there are. They got to at least try to make an estimate or a best guess, right? Somebody does. And I'll take any information that's not the Southern Poverty Law Center. They're not reliable. People used to use their data and point to it, but all right. So I'm going nowhere, so I need to shut it down. I'll do that. It was a great day yesterday to be a part of that. That was, where life is hard aspect that I talk about, but yet great at the same time. Hard because of losing Charlie, but the greatness of what that is going to become and what God may do with that. And I believe he will. And as far as my role in that is just to do more of what I should do and focusing on helping more people find that after they've hit a bottom like I did, why they need to fight through and make a comeback. And do that with God on your side. You'll have a much better chance of winning, I think. So that's it. We will be back on Wednesday. This is the Outlaw Apostle program. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with you like I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back.